Brilliant. Okay. Well, it's really nice to see everybody on the call, and I can see a great big room full of lots and lots of people, but you're a tiny, tiny little square on my screen. So apologies, I can't really see who's there, but it's very nice. It's very nice to see you. So I'm not Phil Wood. Hello, my name is Claire Smith. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and Deputy Chief Exec. Phil's on annual leave this week. That's why he's not here. But I'm really pleased to be here to listen to this. I had a one-to-one with Rob Armstrong earlier on today, and he was talking me through the David Beevers RPIW. So I'm really looking forward to hearing some of what's come through that event this week. Some of the challenges as well as some of the opportunities is what I understand. And then we have Kathy. I'm hoping he's on the call as well, who's going to talk us through reducing category 2 pressure ulcers in critical care. So I'm going to hand over to David Beevers RPIW if I may.
Thanks, Claire.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Katie. I'm an improvement specialist in the KPO team, and I'm here with the David Beevers Theatre and HPB surgery team. And to title our RPIW event as David Beevers Improvement Groove, because we definitely got into the improvement groove this week. So the problem framed by our sponsors was there was long waiting lists for day case surgery, and they wanted us to look at how we could improve the utilisation of David Beevers Theatre better to help with this. We've kept it small, and that's why we've looked at hepatobiliary for this week. We found some opportunities for improvement with wastes relating to waiting for staff and patients, underutilised waiting areas and batching in the process. The team wanted new ways of working to address these frustrations and improve flow on the day of use surgery.
Hi everyone, my name's Tom. I'm a KPO specialist and I've been the team lead for this event. So we wanted to make sure that we had some baseline metrics so that we could measure the successes of our PDSAs. The first metric agreed with our sponsors was the quality start on time data. So this was the percentage of all first cases that start between 8:45. Our baseline data as observational data that we collected over 8 weeks was 59% with a target of 100%. The second metric that we went for was the finish on time. Between the two lists of 11:45 and 4:30, we were finding that there was a 38.5%. We wanted a target of 0%. The main focus of this event has been to improve the utilisation data for theatres. That percentage was currently sitting at 69.8%, and the agreed target was 85%. We also wanted to measure the value add within the process between the boundaries of the patient arriving and the next patient that enters theatre. We had that currently at 54.7% with a target of 100. It was really important that we captured the morale metrics of both the patients and the staff within doing the event. With the patients, out of 10, we had 80% positive feedback, and we always aim for 100% with that. Our sixth metric was to make sure that we had the patients as well. So 84% of that out of 6 was positive, and again with the target of 100%.
Hello, my name is Untitled. I'm one of the process owners for this project. I'm as well one of the consultant sergeants. We use quite a few tools from the KPO team, and we organize all the metrics that were collected before this week into a value stream map. A value stream map, in a nutshell, is what happens between the boundaries of our measurements. Essentially, first patient comes in, the end is when the next patient comes into theatre. When you analyze that, you find areas where you can do better, and we just put them in tiny clouds, colored by step. So we select them and decide if we can act into any. So this is the first test of change. You take one of these clouds and you think, oh, so in the morning, 8:30, you have sergeants, anaesthetists, junior doctors, all the members of the healthcare staff fighting for just one computer. Not kidding, we had just that lowly computer. We were all around it, going around like crazy people, and it's so simple to change. With the help of all the team, they found a room that was used for storage mainly. There were 4 computers that were placed there. It's a quiet space, it's perfect for work, and that made such a difference in the morale of someone who's stressed, and looking for a computer does not help. Great for staff, great for patients. First step, test of change, made such a difference for me.
Hi everyone, so I am Ram, one of the quality improvement within theatres and anaesthetics. So again, using Leeds improvement methodology and tools, we just find out there is two good opportunities just for improvement. Number one, which is turnaround time, which is actually meaning the time between the first patient's out until the next patient coming to the anesthetic room, which currently it's 22 minutes, and we think that there is good window for opportunity and really for improvement there. The second thing we'd just like to tackle, which is a communication between theaters and theater staff and pre-wait and ward staff, which is really will enhance the whole utilization in theaters. So we introduced 3 BDSAs actually to tackle these 3 challenges. Number one will be tablets, using tablet in theater. So we find out there is a lot of documentation need to be done, of course, as you know, from inside theaters, which is really very much important to the whole organization and as part of really essential work and task. And really using tablets really will really enhance that. And especially we have especially theater staff with limited access to computers because used by of course, disability team. So it's using tablets really will enhance this experience and really will affect positively the turnaround time and readiness inside theaters. I will just leave Vivian just to talk about the next 2 BDSAs.
My name is Vivian Apia from David Beevers Theatre. I'm a team member for this event. We observed that there wasn't good communication between pre-wait staff and theatre staff. This often led to delays in bringing patients into theatre. A clear solution to this problem is that after team brief, we will update pre-wait staff of any changes to list order or cancellation. This method has proven to positive effect for the past few days. And by continuing doing this, it will benefit us as a team moving forward. In addition, we have introduced closing call. This means that anytime a surgeon is suturing the skin of the patient, we will call the pre-wait staff to get the next patient ready so that when the ODP goes for the patient, there won't be any time wasted. All this will improve the flow in theaters.
So after applying the 3 BDSAs, we found out there's a lot of improvement just happening. First of all, turnaround time was reduced from 22 minutes up to 16 minutes. And actually today list was up to even less than 10 minutes, about 7 to 8 minutes, which was really great achievement and a great really improvement. While communication was really improved between different staff, between theaters and ward, which were just like actually measured through sending feedback to all staff, and really actually we get a lot of positive feedbacks from everyone.
Hello, my name is Liz. I'm a sister on David Beevers' Day Unit. I am an away team member for this event. This is a map of David Beevers' Day Unit. The spaghetti diagram clearly illustrates the flow issues we encounter in the admissions area on a daily basis. The red dot represents the patient. All clinicians need to see the patient at a similar time. By reviewing the layout of the admissions area, we've implemented a solution which eliminates time waste and improves the process for the service users and benefits all team members. This change will reduce the number of late starts for the HPB list.
Hello, my name's Katie and I'm the team leader for David Beevers' Day Unit and also a process owner for this project. As part of our testing, we tested out utilising our admission pods. The use of these pods has meant that the patient is sat in one area and we've reduced our motion waste. Using the pods ensures confidentiality, and according to our collected data, patients and clinicians appreciate the calmness and the flow that the pods have created, as shown in the new spaghetti diagram. Using the pods has reduced our admission time from 37 minutes to just 26 minutes, which has increased our value add for both our patients and our staff.
The PSA has been to implement a twice daily meeting between the team leaders. This has been developed to highlight issues we encounter and to ensure we achieve continuous flow to ensure maximum theatre utilisation is achieved on a daily basis. We trialled a huddle this morning and it was a great success, as an issue that was identified early on was immediately shared and resolved.
Hi, my name's Emily. I'm a business manager for HPB. One of the key themes that we found throughout this project was communication, or therefore lack of it, not only between David Beevers' ward staff, but the theatre staff as well, and all external CSU, such as myself and theatres. we feel that implementing a monthly touch point or a people link meeting will not only hold us to account for our targets that we've set, such as utilisation, turnaround time, start and finish time, but it'll also keep us in the loop to hold any problems that should arise, any issues or challenges that we face, we can tackle collaboratively and make sure that we continue to push forward, improving with David Beevers.
At our baseline data that we agreed with the sponsors and comparing it with the new data that we've collected over the last 3 days, we've been able to see positive change and impact through the PDSA cycles. So with our quality start on time data, which started at 59% on 11 lists, we were able to see a 41% increase on those lists. And although these are not specific to HPB, it shows that the impact can be upscaled to different departments within David Beevers. The second metric of the finish on time, we were able to achieve a minus 37.5% to achieve our 0% target. Again, the main focus being the utilisation of this data, which was sitting at 69.8%, we saw an increase to 19.2% across the list. As you can see on day 3, we have 2 percentages in there. That is just to measure the different lists that were on there to show the impact across the service. We also continue to monitor the value add within the process, which was at 54.7. We saw a 13% increase across that with our PDSA cycles. And again, to make sure that we captured the feedback from both patients and from our staff, it was important that we went over and explained what the PDSAs were and captured that feedback. We saw a 20% increase from the patient's perspective and a 16% from the staff. So as we can see, there's some great successes through our PDSA cycles through this process.
Hello, my name is Claire. I'm the business manager for theatres and anaesthesia, and I'm a team member for this event. During this process, we have discovered issues that we were unable to investigate during this week. Everyone was given the opportunity to share ideas and issues that impacted patient care and their surgical journey. The car parking ideas have been provided and acknowledged by our process sponsors who have taken these on board.
So the newspaper is a tool which allows us to track our progress and gives the process owners accountability to carry forward and further develop any future changes to our practice. The hope is that the changes that we've made during this week, which have focused on HPB, can and will be transferred to other specialities. This week, we've already managed to complete one of our PDSAs in regards to providing extra computers for all members of the MDT to use.
So just to summarise some key learning around our work this week, the communication's been a big thing, and people recognising that we're doing the best in our own areas, but we're going beyond those boundaries and walking in someone else's shoes has really helped that communication link. And then thinking about the wider patient experience. So David Beevers have great friends and family feedback. So they do some great stuff on the day, the patient's experience, but thinking about the patient's experience outside of that and how we can still impact on that in this process. So by reducing those lists down, we can get more people through more quickly. So just widening our thoughts around that has been really helpful. Next slide, please. So final slide of thank yous just to the home team members and the David Beevers staff for allowing us to go in and disrupt things this week and watch what they're doing, and also their feedback and input to this. Obviously our sponsors really inspired us to get going this week. Fiona and Liz, thanks so much for that. And also we had Nikki, Helen, Cam and Stephen with us this week, but they haven't been able to be here today, but thanks to them for their hard work. That concludes our report out. Thank you.
That was brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody, for presenting. And I can see Liz, and she's smiling like I don't know what. Really, really great piece of work that you've undertaken there. Thank you so much. I'm going to move us on to the next presentation, and then we'll come back and do questions, because I've been jotting down some questions and observations as well. So I'm sure other people have too. So just absolutely excellent, and well done, everybody, for that work. And I very much look forward to hearing the 30-day report out as well. So I'm going to move us on to Catherine, reducing category 2 pressure ulcers in the nostril in adult critical care. I don't know if we've got anybody from oncology on the call, but they would equally be interested in this one, I'm sure. Over to you, Catherine, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So thanks for the introduction, Claire. So I'm Catherine Gakad. I'm one of the clinical quality practitioners in adult critical care. So as you've said, that's the title of my project. Why did I take on this project? Because when we review our DATEXs, our DATEX reviewed and identified that category 2 pressure ulcers were caused by the nasogastric tube/fixation device. there was a spike in pressure ulcer occurrence, 12 category 2 pressure ulcers in the nostril within a 6-month period. But I'll explain that more when I've got my charts on my slide. Poor feedback has been gained on the audit done of the current NG fixator at that time used in one of our ICUs. 10 out of 10 staff found the product of poor quality. So I've interviewed staff regarding the quality of the NG fixators that we've used before within the whole CSU. I've involved, the quality education team, tissue viability nurses, and the tissue viability group, nutrition team, our ACCPs, medics, and matrons have been informed of this project. So how does this link with the 7 Cs? So my commitment in finding resources to improve patient experience and preventing harm has driven me to take on this project. Inspired by my passion in delivering high standard quality patient care through the prevention of the occurrence of pressure ulcers, thereby reducing patients' length of stay in ICU and the prevention of infection. Next slide, please, Kirsty. So I have used the PDSA, cycle. So I have sourced the new product from the company. I've actually contacted them and told them that I want to meet up with one of their medical representatives. I have introduced the new NG fixator to the whole CSU and have emphasized the benefits of on it for patient experience and the quality of care. So I've done, same as with the clinical educators and the medical representatives, the training to the staff. So training video was also available for the staff to watch. Our adult critical care manager has been informed about this project as well. So he has agreed and approved that the switch of the product will be an investment, like the worthwhile investment to the benefits of within the ACC. So my general manager has approved the switch of the product, stating that the worthwhile investment due to the obvious benefits and issues the ACC has with pressure ulcers. So I have removed all the old NG fixators within the whole CSU. The new NG fixator has been introduced to the whole critical care, and the change of supply has been communicated to the members of the MDT. Gaining feedback was a challenge because the staff were too busy to do them. QR codes were created, but they didn't work. So in order for me to get the feedback that I needed, I went to the units using the iPad and gained the feedback myself, telling them that it's only going to take you 2 minutes of your time. The only challenge as well is when patients are sweaty, but I have suggested putting a Cavalon barrier product for better adherence of the new NG fixator. Thank you, Claire. So I think the most outcome that I've got is the staff were happy with the new product. So I've got 2 graphs here for me to explain to you. I think I got carried away with the left one, but I'm going to concentrate on 2023. So January 2023. So I know that you can see that there's 0 category 2 pressure ulcers between April until August. But then what I'm going to concentrate is in the last 6 months that I've mentioned before. I know high acuity in critical care, the patient's high acuity is affected. But this 12 pressure ulcers that I had between September until March is really very significant. So hence, when I started introducing the new NG fixator, maybe mid-March, the pressure ulcers category 2 had actually reduced. So I am quite happy with that. The next chart here just specifies what other devices are like top pressure damage that causes pressure damage within critical care. As you can see, there's like 5 there from the NG tube, but this specific one in June is actually from an NG tube, but it's not from the nostril, but it's when the patient's from the patient's ear, because the patient had actually been laid on that. I just want to say that we actually report and just to specify that this 2 pressure ulcers on the nostril was like from just May and July. As you can see, there's some NIV mask there as well in ETT tubes, but we are doing our very best to reduce our pressure ulcers on the bridge of the nose as well from the NIV mask. So what went well? So the awareness of the usage of the NG fixators have been communicated during perfect ward, tissue viability, nutrition, and equipment and supplies meeting. Information about the new NG fixator is shared in daily team briefs and huddles, and the staff are given updates on the usage. I have received positive engagement from staff and nil complaints when I do my regular Gemba walks within the CSU. I've considered using spaghetti and process diagram on my project, but both were inappropriate. Therefore, I just continued with my PDSA cycle. So what would I do differently? I will ask somebody else to help me with the following up the feedback. I will gather more data to truly emphasize the effectiveness of the new NG fixators. I will ask staff completing the data access to specify the NG fixator used, because I still see the old NG fixators being used when I do my Gemba walks. That's the end of my presentation, and thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you so much for that. Can we drop the screen so I can see faces a bit more, particularly the RPIW group, because there we go. I can see them a bit better now. Thank you both. Both presentations were excellent. Can I just ask? I've got. Well, in fact, I'll stop. I'll ask questions first before I delve into all of mine. Sorry. Any questions for either of the presenters today, please? Rob, please.
Unsurprisingly for the David Beevers and AMS teams. Just great presentation. How applicable do you think what you've learned through the RPIW and David Beevers do you think would be applicable to other admission areas that we've got in the trust?
Well, I think that you'd be able to apply it to all of our admission areas, because the changes that we've made are not massive changes, but they've had such a big impact. So I think it'd be easily, able to be used in any other area, really.
Thank you. Any other questions for either presenters? No, I'm going to delve into mine then. So I share the enthusiasm for a good looking value stream map, I have to say. I think when they're done really well, they're absolutely brilliant. Similarly with the spaghetti map. I guess what I'm keen to understand is, because obviously you've gone through the process this week, but when you were actually in flow in terms of trying to make the changes, did you feel as though you were empowered to do what you needed to do just to be able to make that change? I mean, I know you said about bringing in the computers and things like that, but on a day-to-day basis, obviously we want people to be using Leeds improvement method and being able to identify opportunities to improve their own work. Did you feel as though you'd been given extra permission because of the RPIW to make the changes, or what was the sort of like some of the key learning out of it for you?
I think I was going to say having the results there, actually, to be able to demonstrate to other members of staff that actually what we have done has benefited the department. So, but that will empower us anyway to go forward and to try it further and probably extend it across different specialities within the unit as well.
Well, that was going to be my next question, actually, was because it's great that you've seen that benefit with HPB, and you've clearly had some real engagement from your consultant colleagues as well. In terms of because there's a lot of other specialties that use David Beevers, it's a really great facility for the trust. So can you replicate it for other specialty areas, would you say?
Yeah, I think there's no challenge to that. We've done it already during this week. We've used a muscle list, we've watched a vascular list. I think all the changes are really transferable across all services. And naturally, there's a lot of services within AMS I can't wait to get started on and feedback.
Frustrations were similar between all the teams who used David Beevers. We had exactly the same frustration in vascular urology. It was about how David Beevers worked as opposed to other theatre suites. I have heard a lot of why that was. And this week has been useful to bring all the stakeholders to the table, and it's why it doesn't work the way it works. So it's not just the small changes we have presented. What I hope it will last is the communication.
Convince
they can make real change.
Yeah, I mean that's come through really strongly actually in your presentation. Is the sort of like the MDT work that's happened across the course of this week, and actively listening to each other and working with each other to find solutions. It's a really great presentation that you've done today, and I think it's Tim is going to, we have a monthly board that Phil chairs, which talks through efficiency and productivity of the organisation. And I can see Tim is on the call. So when reporting through, because David Beevers is such an asset for us as an organisation, it really is a real opportunity to develop as an elective hub for us on that side. So the notion of using it as effectively and productively as we possibly can, because the bottom line is as one of you said on the call, it means that we can see and treat more patients. It means that we can improve the experience of the patients on the waiting list as well as whilst they're actually in your care. And what you've shown here today is by doing that, you're not compromising the quality of the care that you're providing to those patients. What you're actually doing is also improving the experience of the teams that work within that environment. And I think that's really to be commended, genuinely. So if I had a hat on, I'd be taking it off to you. I really would. Can I just ask a question of Catherine, if I may, please, as well?
Yes,
I'm just really keen to understand, because I was in oncology recently and they were talking about pressure ulcers that they experience with their end-of-life patients. And I'm just wondering whether or not, again, I can't say the word, so I'm just going to use the word replicate. But do you think you can... Do you think there's a mechanism by which we could share what you've learned in critical care with other areas across the organisation to prevent harms to patients?
Yeah, actually, Claire, I'm going to be having a meeting with children's as well. So they have contacted me regarding that. Tissue viability, of course, have been involved. So I will be presenting this data to them so that make sure that the reduction of pressure ulcers within the nostrils actually reduced, not only with critical care, but within the whole CS, other CSCs.
Could I ask you to reach out to Cora Presley, the head of nursing in oncology? Would that be okay? Because I know that she'd be keen to hear about that, definitely.
I'll send her an email. Thank you.
Thank you. We're at 1 o'clock on the dot, and I probably have 100 more questions I could ask of both teams. But Jimmy, do you want to add anything right at the very end at all?
Thanks, Claire. Proud of this lot. They've all gone at it, and there's some difficult stuff, isn't there, when your work is in the spotlight, and they've looked at the data that's been presented, and as Sonsolas and the team have presented to you, they said, okay, what can we do with our work to make this better? And also, what do we need to share on that we can't affect? And I'm really proud of how they've been steered by Katie and by Tom, who's on debut as a team lead. Well done, Tom. Great job this week to get to some really practical, tangible results. And a bit like a couple of people have commented, this is small scale test to change, but it's got huge potential. So I'm also keen to see how they embed this and then accelerate it through the next 30, 60, 90. So great work to everyone involved. Thank you ever so much for your time.
Seriously, a really brilliant work that you've been able to demonstrate, and there's some lovely comments in the chat as well if you get a chance to read them. And I know you won't have seen either presentation, won't have seen the claps that were happening whilst you were presenting. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I don't want to overstate this, but I don't think I can. That work, particularly in the RPIW that you've undertaken, if we can sustain that and we can develop that, just the number of people that we will be able to treat and the difference that will make to their lives. So thank you. And thank you, Catherine, as well. Take care. Bye.